I'm Andrew Brophy. I'm from Margaret River, Western Australia, 37 years old, father of 3 kids and professional skateboarder. I started skating in probably 1996. I had a Acme Everslick that my brother bought me. I was playing a lot of football and hockey, but I was not that keen on training. They weren't having it, so I was like, all right. The oval was super close to where the skate park was being built. You could see them building it from the oval. I can just go over there and do whatever I want. And that's when we started going skating every day after school. Then there's a surf shop called Sessions. So we're always in and out of that shop. It's the only shop in town to hang out at. But they started giving me shoes and boards cheap. I started getting Link footwear, and I got my first ad in a skate magazine in Australia. At that time, my brother lived in the UK. So I flew to London to see my brother, who I hadn't seen in 4 years. And then I went on this Link trip with Alex Moll, Marcus McBride, JB, Gillette. And that was my real first introduction to a proper kind of skate trip. I'd never really caught public transport. I didn't know how to work a fucking phone. 10,000 people max population at that time. What you would imagine a skate tour being it was 10 dudes in a van, skateboards everywhere. People duct taping beer cans to the back of seats as ashtrays, and I was like, cool, I can smoke ciggies in a car and no one's gonna tell me off. Perfect for a 17-year-old going on their first trip. So I went back to London, and then I met all the London heads, that whole crew at South Bank. Super broke, didn't really want to get a job. Circa Footwear had a team in UK. I think they offered to pay me £300 a month. I can live on £300 a month. Everything revolved around going skateboarding. I suppose it just allowed the flexibility to be able to drink a lot of beer. You were young, so everyone was drinking anyway. So it wasn't like you were ever doing anything out of the norm. After skateboarding, all the big dudes are having a beer and having a ciggy, and yeah, you immediately get exposed to all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't be had you been playing under 14s football. Skateboarding is not organised. There's no one making sure you're doing anything correctly. You can go out and you can do drugs and you can get drunk and you can smoke and you can do whatever you want, and there's no one that's going to tell you you shouldn't do that. For sure, drinking and partying and doing whatever I wanted because no one was telling me otherwise. But then when I transitioned from that young kid into the mid-range of the pack, that's kind of when I started to get anxiety about heaps of different stuff. Oh, I've got my name written on a board. Do people like the way I skate? Do people like me? Am I a good person, or am I a good skateboarder? My anxieties all kind of meshed together when I blew my knee out and my wife was pregnant, started to worry about all sorts of stuff. The future, my body, money, where do you go from that point forward? And up until I blew my knee out, I didn't ever have a thought about mental health. I was always just happy-go-lucky. I would 100% mask any feelings of doubt, anxiety, worry by drinking or doing drugs. And instead of just chasing the thing that I loved most, which was skateboarding, I would get really pissed and party and turn it into a wild bender that I'd never be able to get off the merry-go-round. I'd just be like, oh, I'm hungover, I feel like shit. I can't skate, I don't want to skate, I'll have a beer. When I look back on some DVS footwear trips, I'm like, dude, I had such wicked opportunities in front of me. I was still quite young. DVS wanted to give me a pro shoe. I went on these trips and I don't want to say perform, but I definitely didn't do justice to the way I could skate or the way that I should have even been trying to skate, And looking back on it, it just makes me bummed. These people over here believed in me enough to pay me to skateboard, and here I am not even thinking about any of that, and I'm just like, woohoo, let's go to the pub. Drinking became an issue in later life when I had my kids. Now I'm not just a kid that can do whatever he wants. Now I've got a kid who I need to support and look after. It had always been about me, and I was still trying to make it about me. I lived so close to the bar. Booze was cheap, Coke was cheap. I was just really selfish. I'd just be like, oh, Brogan can deal with Jagger and I can go to the bar and drink pints and do whatever I want and come home at 3 in the morning, black out, kick the door in. Where I kind of knew I was fucking up, but my body felt shit and I had the responsibility of being a father, and I just didn't know how to like get it to like work out. Some people are way better at just being like, oh, I'm good, man, like I've had 5 beers, I'm gonna go home. And I was terrible at being like, oh, I'm good. I'd be like, let's go forever until they stop coming. Definitive point in the sand was like, what do you want to pick? Do you want to pick partying? Or do you want to pick your family? Why am I trying to ruin something that is like the best thing that's ever happened to me, which was the family, for basically a pint of beer? We were living in Melbourne, and Brogan's like, nah man, we need family support, we've got 2 kids. You're just not present and a part of it all. So we came back to Queensland, and I stopped drinking 9 years ago. It's for myself, because I wanted to be better for me and better for Jagger and River and Ziggy and Brogan. I just wanted to be more present and not like, you know, fuck their childhood up by like choosing to party or to think everything revolved around me. I'm the father of a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I wake up, I do their lunch boxes with Brogan, and I get them on the school bus, pick them up from school. So that kind of like rules my life now. I fit in my skateboarding as best I can around these 3 kids. How can I like make sure that the kids grow up super stoked with good memories and doing things they want to do, not just like, oh, dad's gone out skating again, it's Saturday. Like, I have a skate park out at Brogan's family's house. I try and skate that at least 4 or 5 times a week just to be skating. I live in this small town in Queensland. Like, I'm skating in the bush in my backyard. I'm pro for a girl that's based in Los Angeles. I'm as removed from them as you could possibly get. How do you stay relevant, or how do you continue what you've been doing for so long? And 100% it gives me mad anxiety, you know? I'm thinking like, dude, I'm filming myself on a camera, on a stand in my backyard. For me, it was the only way to like, you know, be seen. You know, it's good that you can do your thing, but it's also like the double-edged sword. You can also then be judged by everyone that's out there. For a long time, it would always just affect me that people that I didn't know think of me like that, or the thought of like multiple people agreeing. Definitely the like negative comments that were nasty would bring you down substantially lower than like people being like saying something positive. You know, even if there was 95 epic comments and 5 really nasty ones, you'd still somehow, in my brain anyway, you'd get stuck on a loop of like worrying about it. But it probably all stems from like, I don't know, just being always so used to like thinking about me and what I want to do and when do I want to do it. And I still even get it now. Like I'll be like, oh my God, the kids are so gnarly. Like they can't get ready. I can't organize them, but I want to go skateboarding. And it's that kind of feeling like squished down into this like little tiny window time frame inside my head. And I get like super frustrated and it will just like come out of me in anger. And I'll do it, and then I'll be afterwards, I'll be like, oh my God, that was so lame. And you know, it's really hard to say sorry for like a continual behavior that you do. So I'd go and talk to like, he was a therapist, I don't know if he was in anger management, he was just this dude in town, and I'd just go there and be like, you know, like how do I manage these outbursts of like frustration, anxiety, like I'm like, holy shit, I haven't skated for like 5 days, like fuck, I just want to go and skate the skate park for 20 minutes, like without kids like throwing basketballs at me or like riding around on a razor scooter. Again, when I'm focusing just on me, when it's like, why would it really matter if the kids did come and throw a basketball at me and ride the razor scooter? Like that breaks down the pressure on me to think that I've got to like do a switch tray flip and do it good, like at the skate park. It's like the kids are there, they don't give a shit what you do, they don't even know what you're doing. And then trying to learn how to like deal with that and be like, the kids can come and skate with me and it's totally fine and we can all have fun. I don't know, it took me a long time to learn how to like integrate everything. Rely on your friends and be open and honest about what it is that it is affecting you. And no one's ever gonna make you feel embarrassed or bad for it, you know. It's hard to open up and spit it out, but it always feels way better when you get it off your chest and uplift. Like, make people feel good about themselves, especially in this day and age, man.